And so I'm going to share with y'all a story that kind of shaped the person that I am today. So I am from a very tiny country on the west coast of Africa called Benin. It's a country that almost no one's ever heard of. But if you can place on the map where Nigeria is, I am right to the left of that. And so I remember on this particular day, um, it was, a normal day, like it's always had been. It was beautiful. The sun was shining really brightly. Except this day I had passed my final exams, and I was really excited to come share that with my parents because, I'm sure it might be the same for everyone, but in African families, they kind of really push that on you, making sure you do well in school. And so I was really excited to come and share this news with my family. I had passed my exams. I was moving on to what y'all would know here as the sixth grade. And so I took the long route home, which happened to be the market route. And I don't know if any of y'all ever been to Africa or seen any kind of imagery of the markets in Africa. I'll let you know that in Benin, we have one of the largest open markets of West Africa. And so it's vibrant, like it's so colorful, it's lots of noise, and like you can smell all of the street food. It's like an amazing sight. And so I stopped at one of my favorite stalls from one of my aunties. And as Africans, everybody is your auntie. It doesn't matter who it is, they're all your aunties. And so these women didn't know, well, and I surely didn't know either, but they would shape and inspire the work that I do today. And so I kind of got lost in watching them work, uh, cooking in African culture is a very communal thing. There are many people involved. I don't even remember a moment my mama would go into the kitchen and not have a group of women surrounding her. And so I watched like one woman would kind of put something in this big pot of oil. Someone else would take it out, and then someone might turn it around a little bit, mix it, and then give it to whomever was in front of like customers talking. And so I kind of snapped back into reality, and they've given me some of the snacks that I got. And I'm walking home, and I turn on the street of my home in Porto Novo, which is the capital of Benin, actually. And so when you walk up to my house, there's a black gate. When you walk through this black gate to the left, there's this mango tree that gave you like the most beautiful mangoes that I remember like taking naps under throughout my childhood. And in front of me, then is like a terrace that was of like yellow tiles. And from the terrace, you can see inside the living room. And my mama was on the phone. We had a yellow rotary phone. I'm sure some of y'all may remember that, but I remember having a yellow rotary phone growing up. And so I still remember the number, but somehow I only remember it in French. So I'm gonna tell y'all, maybe somebody knows and some of y'all don't know, but it was 22 47 63. I'll never forget. And so when my mother's eyes and mine met, I was certain, and I could really tell that that conversation was about me. And when she hung up the phone, all I could remember her telling me was, "You're going to America." So here I am, my little 10-year-old brain didn't really process this really. There was lots of excitement because, there's this notion in many foreign countries that America has all the answers, your life will be better once you get there. Um, like almost like the streets were paved with gold. So there was such excitement in coming to America. Uh, and it wasn't until I was like on the plane a month later that all these emotions kind of came in. Like, you ever seen a stampede of horses? That's kind of what it felt like, kind of just rushed like all into me. And I'm thinking, well, when will I see my parents again? I didn't think I had a bad life. um my mom, a mother of six children, would get up every morning and prepare us for school. She would feed us, then send us off to school. And when we would come back home for lunch, again, she had a table dressed with food, and we would eat, go back to school again. And when we came back for dinner, it was the same thing. I mean, I remember having a meal with my family 3 times a day, sitting down together. And my father was a militant man. I felt like he loved me, and he was instilling certain values and morals into me as a person. And so, I mean, I didn't really think that there was a problem. But again, I'm 10. How much could I really process in this moment? And so I remember getting to JFK Airport, getting into a black car. We were driving down, I can't even tell you what highway it is now, but I was on the way to Connecticut. All I remember were these really long, tall trees, and I kept trying to see the sun, but it just wasn't shining the same way. It was kind of blocked by the trees, the branches. And I remember as I took a left onto Lakewood Drive in Trumbull, Connecticut, where I would then spend the majority of the rest of my childhood, I was introduced to my now new family, and a Black man, a Puerto Rican woman, and their 2 sons. Quickly, my life shifted. I had to learn a new language. And those beautiful, breakfast mornings turned into like getting a bowl of cereal and catching that bus by 6 o'clock to get to school. Then it was whatever crappy lunch. I remember pizza. Yeah, it was pizza, and I really did not like it. Having to eat pizza, whatever they served you at lunch. And then dinner was, did you finish your homework? Okay, great. Like, you can serve yourself and sit at the breakfast room table. And that became like my new routine. And I spent a lot of my childhood really asking why, because it didn't make no sense. Why would my parents do this? Like, why would they send me here with these people who in my opinion, did not live up to this image that was created? And so I really like hated my life. I did not like it at all. So much so that when I was 17, I did all I could to graduate school early. And I packed my Jeep, my black Jeep Cherokee, February of 2009, and got the hell out of Dodge and found myself a little studio apartment, and then went on this journey of like trying to figure out life. And I remember when I was 19 years old, I started working at this small boutique hotel at Yale in New Haven, Connecticut. And this hotel had a beautiful farm to table restaurant that really made me change my perception of food. I was like, y'all people come here and spend this much money on purpose. So there must be more to it than just like I'm eating because I'm hungry. And so in my time there, I really understood that food was more than an edible, and that we could really use it to be really intentional about the things that we said and what we wanted, what emotions we wanted to evoke. But I was so young. I got pregnant when I was 22 and went on to banking for some time. And when I had my daughter, uh, you could say that my heart maybe softened up a little bit. And I always like to paint this image of like when you become a mom, there's some door back there that maybe opens up that allows some sort of wisdom to come through. And so at this time, I felt it was necessary to reach out to my mother and attempt to rebuild some sort of relationship with her, my biological mother, that is. And so after what at this point, maybe 13, yeah, 13 very long years, I was reunited with my mother. I remember it was a cool evening and we were sitting across from each other, and we had a very, very uncomfortable conversation. She had to sit in front of me and accept what my reality was, my experience as an adopted child. And I had to remove her title of mother to really hear her why and to understand her as a person, as a human being. And so after doing that, she and I started to build a relationship, and years later we're still working on it. But I think maybe about 3, 4 years ago, while I was at the bank, I said, Ade, this is the moment. I don't know if there's any entrepreneurs here, but there is a moment in which you realize that there's something more for you than what you were doing. And you kind of have to take a step out and just go for it. And so I thought I was crazy. People around me thought I was crazy, but I just took the biggest leap of faith and took a chance on myself and started to cook full time. And so, where I come from, in one of my native languages, which is Fon, we say Wami Dunu. Wami Dunu means come share a meal with me. And this is the essence of Dunu cuisine. When you walk into an African home, or particularly, I'll say Beninese home, and someone is eating, you are always invited to the table. You're always invited to come share this meal. And it's not in vain, it's not a joke. We really mean it. Come and sit with me and share this meal with me, which became the essence of my business, the essence of me as a chef was, let's all sit across the table, have uncomfortable conversations, all centered around a meal, so that we can move forward as a group of people and spark some healing, particularly in the diaspora. And so today, what I do is I take all my experiences, having lived, 1, as an African, 2, as an African American, 3, as an immigrant, and 4, being raised by a Puerto Rican woman. I have found a way to put all of that together and serve it to folks on a plate. And that is my story.